A lucky escape. Henry had been asked to pick up some trucks from Brendam docks and take them to Proven's Gates workshops. Henry liked this job. It meant he could go and visit his new friend, Jinx. When he arrived at the works, Henry saw Jinx outside. He had been repaired and painted NWR blue with red lining. "Morning, Jinx. You do look smart." "Thanks, Henry. I can't wait for my line to open so I can stretch my wheels." Jinx smiled. "The workman says it shouldn't be long now, and you'll be running under your own power again." "I'll look forward to that. It'll make a nice change to actually be working for once." "You must have worked before coming to Sodor?" Henry asked. "No, actually. I was built for an electric railway in England, but the LNER never made the line, so I've been in storage most of my life," Jinx answered. "But what about your brothers and sisters? They must have worked?" Henry asked again. "Don't have any. I'm the only EE1 engine in the world." Jinx looked down. Just then the foreman came up to Henry. "Sir Tom Hatt was just on the phone. He needs you to pick up a goods train from Vickerstown and take it to Peel Godred right away." "See you later, Jinx," and Henry puffed away. In no time Henry picked up his goods train and set off. He had a straight run and arrived at Peel Godred station. The station had been restored and repainted. It looked as good as new. Henry found the fat controller on the platform. He looked at his watch. "That was quick, Henry." Sir Tom Hatt was surprised. "You must have broken Gordon's record to get here." "Just lucky, sir," Henry chuckled. "Speaking of which, I've talked to Jinx. He's been looking forward to working on this line, but something doesn't make sense." And Henry explained everything Jinx had said. "I'm not surprised. I've done some research on 13, and what he says is true," the fat controller explained. "He is the only EE1 in the world. He was built for the York to Newcastle Electric Main Line project, but LNER dropped the project. He was then put into storage." "How awful!" Henry gasped. "There is still one mystery left. According to records I've found, 13 was scrapped in 1950. "That's nearly 40 years ago." "Exactly. I believe 13 is more of a ghost than we think." Henry was very puzzled. That night Henry spoke to the other big engines about Jinx and Tidmouth sheds. "I do feel sorry for him," Henry said. "I know," Bear replied. Even Gordon agreed. "Yes, but we need to talk about the elephant in the room. How can he be here when he was supposed to have been scrapped?" "We already know of engines who have escaped or brought from scrap, like Trevor or Oliver, but escaping from the grave?" James replied. "I say we get the answer from the horse's mouth," Gordon suggested. "We can't go asking an engine a question like that," Bear interrupted. "We can't, but Henry can." He looked at the big green engine. Henry was surprised. "Me?" "Nice of you to volunteer," Bear smiled. "Can't believe I fell for that one," Henry sighed, but agreed to do it. The next morning Sir Topham Hatt came to see Henry in the sheds. "Henry, the repair work on the dam has been completed. It's connected to the Peel Godred branch line once again. I want you to take 13 to Kildane Station. He'll have his trial run on his line today." "Yes, sir," Henry understood, and he puffed away, but he knew what he had to do. Soon Henry arrived at the works and coupled up to Jinx. "Come on, friend, today's the day," and he took Jinx to his new branch line. At Kildane Station, Henry shunted Jinx onto the tracks underneath the overhead electric lights. While the workmen checked to make sure everything was connected correctly, Henry rolled up alongside Jinx. "Jinx, can I ask you something?" Henry asked. "Sure, fire away," said Jinx. We all were wondering, how did you get to Sodor?" "Oh, that's a long story," Jinx replied, and he told him his story. "You see, I've been in storage for so long that the LNER saw no reason in keeping me around. So they ordered me to be scrapped. But the workmen where I was stored saw me as a friend and didn't want to scrap me." "What did they do?" Henry asked. "They stole me. One night they used a steam engine to smuggle me out of the storage yard. I didn't know her name, but she was very nice. Under the cover of night, they took me all the way to Sodor and hid me down that line. They said this was an electric railway and might reopen someday. I just needed to hide there for a while. They even faked my documents to make it look like I had been scrapped." "So you were rescued from scrap after all." Henry was impressed. "Still, I look forward to a working life on Sodor." Jinx smiled, just as the workmen finished setting him up. "Okay, 13, we're ready for you now." Jinx's electric engine purred into life for the first time in years. He backed down onto 3 empty coaches and was coupled up. "For your trial, go to Peel Godred and come back here, please," said the foreman. "See you later, Henry." Jinx sounded his horn towards Henry and set off down the branch line. But neither Jinx or Henry didn't know that the Fat Controller was on the platform. He had heard everything.